Hello, and welcome to the Purpose Partner Path. And I'm your host, Wendy Gladney. Thank you for joining in. We all know that this space is all about helping women who find themselves at crossroads rediscover who they are, to become unshakable, and live with strategic grace. I think that's something we all want to find and achieve. So thank you for your time. And no matter where you are tuning in, please remember to please follow me, go subscribe, and go to my social media and to my website and to YouTube, because I'd love to stay connected with you. So let's grab our cup of coffee and tea like we always do. And let's take a deep breath. And let's get started. Talk about a very serious topic today that I'm hoping can really help you and make a difference with your life. So today we're going to talk about forgiveness can change your life forever, and how forgiveness is a healing ointment for the soul. Now I'm going to tell you, several years ago I actually wrote a book called Forgiveness, Change Your Life Forever. And it was really all about how forgiveness helped me in my life and helped me with my parents and just different people that I had to work out forgiveness with. And I can tell you, it is a freedom. There is freedom in forgiveness. There comes a point in every woman's journey when she stands at a crossroads, and the place between the pain and the peace, the bitterness and the breakthrough, resentment and release. And it's in these moments that forgiveness becomes more than a moral choice. It becomes a healing ointment for our souls. Remember, forgiveness is not always about the other person. Sometimes it's what we need. Forgiveness is about not necessarily forgetting what happened or pretending that the hurt did not cut deep. It's about choosing to release the grip that pain has had on your life. I know it can be stifling. It can struggle you. And when we hold on to anger, we chain ourselves to the very thing that we want to escape. Isn't that crazy? That we hold on to something that we say we want to let go of. But when we forgive, we unlock the door to our own freedom. I know this truth because I have lived it. As a little girl, I experienced pain that no child should ever have to face. My father's actions left deep wounds of confusion and silence in me. And my mother, unable to care for me, left me when I was just a very little girl, around 3 years old. And I was left to be raised by my paternal grandmother. But thank goodness, and I thank God for my grandmother, Rebecca Ruth Reed Harris, also known as Mother Dear, because she carried the weight for me. She lifted me higher. And I can never repay her for all that she did for me, although she's already gone on to glory. Because for years, I carried the weight of abandonment and betrayal. But what I've learned is that carrying pain does not protect you. It only postpones the healing that you need. Forgiveness became the key that opened the door to my peace, to my purpose, and to my power. I truly believe in the power of forgiveness. So let me tell you why I think forgiveness matters. Forgiveness is not about weakness. It is a strength in its highest form. It is a decision to stop letting the past define us. How many of us are still looking in the rearview mirror when we've got a windshield right in front of us that we can look straight through and go forward? When we forgive, our hearts begin to heal. I know that's true. And our minds find clarity. Because, when you hold on to unforgiveness, things can get discombobulated up there. Because sometimes we don't know which way is right, left. We're so confused. We're in so much pain. And our bodies even respond differently. Less stress, less tension, more peace. Science supports what the Spirit has always said. Releasing anger releases toxins from the soul. So for me, forgiving my father and my mother was not a one-time event. It was a process, sometimes even daily, and sometimes moment by moment. But every time I chose to forgive, I reclaimed a little bit more of myself. I was able to say, Wendy, you matter. Wendy, you are loved. Wendy, you are cared about. And through forgiveness, I discovered that I was not what happened to me. I was who God created me to be. He created me to be whole, strong, and unshakable. And forgiveness helped me to see with my very own eyes what my parents could not see. They could not see the pain, but through the lens of grace, God has shown me how to walk through and to forgive. I have found out that they were broken too, and extending compassion did not excuse what they did. It simply allowed me to be free. Because we know hurt people, and broken people try to break people. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it can change the future. And I know that to be true. I know that I have helped my family in breaking negative cycles that I'm so excited that my children and grandchildren will never have to experience. So let's talk a little bit about the healing ointment for the soul when it comes to forgiveness. Forgiveness is like a soothing balm. Have you ever had lotion or cream that when you put it on your hands, I actually need some right now, that makes your hands feel so good, or it's put over your whole body and you're just feeling amazing. You're feeling supple and soft. That's kind of like how forgiveness can be, as a healing ointment for the soul. And it reaches the wounds that no one else can see. It's just like the little cracks and crevices that come from being dry. You know, nobody really can see those easily, but you can. And when you have that right ointment on, it makes it feel all better. It is what allows your heart to beat freely again. Don't you want your heart to just beat freely and to be happy without fear, without bitterness, without blame? Because we can always play the blame game. Play the blame game. Play the blame game. We can do that. But that doesn't get us anywhere. It really doesn't. Grace and forgiveness go hand in hand. Grace gives you the strength to forgive when you're feeling, say, otherwise. Sometimes you may not feel like it, but that's when we have to go past our emotions. Grace reminds us that peace is more valuable than revenge. And freedom is even more precious than our pride, because most of the time we let pride get in the way. Pride can be a very dangerous thing. I often say that strategic grace is forgiveness in motion, choosing peace intentionally, even when chaos surrounds us. Can you even visualize that? It is the art of walking in stillness while the world around us shakes. I know how that feels, just to be still and to calm our spirits. It is having courage without comparison and movement without losing our peace. Got to quit comparing. Stop it. Stop it right now. And when you forgive, you stop rehearsing the pain and start releasing it. You don't have to go over it over and over and over again, unless you're helping someone with their life. But just to rehash it, you have to allow the healing ointment to do its work, layer by layer, moment by moment, until your scars become your story of victory. You don't want to stay a victim. You want to become victorious. So let's talk about the 4 R's of forgiveness. You got time for that? All right, well, join me as we talk about that. If forgiveness feels impossible, well, if it feels impossible, start small. I always say, forgiveness can feel like, oh my gosh, Wendy, where do I start? Start small. Healing does not happen overnight, but it can happen. And I would like to share what I call the 4 R's of forgiveness to help you on your journey. So number 1, recognize the hurt. We all know we've been hurt. We know it's there. You know what? We don't need to put it under the carpet. Acknowledge what happened to you. Do not minimize your pain. You know what? Healing begins with honesty. And ask yourself, what am I truly feeling? What still needs my attention? What still needs help? You need to also figure out what role did you maybe play in it. Maybe nothing, but maybe. So you have to be honest. That's why I say you have to be honest. Number 2, release the resentment. Resentment keeps you tied to yesterday. Remember what I told you about that rearview mirror and not looking through the windshield? Choose to let it go. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. I used to do this exercise often when I talked about several steps that dealt with forgiveness. And one of them was about release and letting go. And I would talk about, just ball your hands up really hard, count to 10, and then slowly open them. And you'll oftentimes feel like this little tension that just seems to just go away. That's what happens when you learn how to release it. It'll just start to go away. And then I want you to renew your perspective. Begin to see yourself as more than just a victim. You are a victor. Remember what I said, becoming victorious. And you're not defined by what happened to you. You are refined through it. But that means you got to go through it and get through it. And then number 4, rise with grace. Forgiveness allows you to rise higher than the hurt, to stand tall, knowing that grace does not erase the past. It transforms it. It really does. So living unshakable through forgiveness. When we forgive, we step into our power. We become unshakable, not because life does not hurt anymore, but because we have learned to stand even when it does. It's called not giving up. Every act of forgiveness strengthens your foundation. It allows you to walk through life with purpose and peace. And as you forgive, you become a vessel of grace for others, showing that healing is possible, wholeness is real, and joy can return. Because people are watching. People are watching you. People listen to what you say, but they really watch what you do. So you got to make sure that your words and your walk lined up with each other. And my life's mission through the Purpose Partner Path is to help women at crossroads rediscover who they are so that they too can become unshakable and live with strategic grace. Just to know that, we're not weak just because we're showing kindness. We have strength. And forgiveness is the cornerstone of that journey. It is how we move from brokenness to beauty, from pain to power, and from surviving to thriving. So today I invite you to begin your own journey of forgiveness. Start with one thing at a time, with one moment, one name, one situation, one prayer. My mantra for years has been healing without hate. You know what? I like to even tell people it's a choice. It's a lifestyle, and to pass it on. But it all starts with a choice. Healing without hate. It's a choice. It's a lifestyle. Pass it on. When you forgive, you do not just free someone else. You free yourself. And that freedom can truly change your life. So thank you again for joining me. And if today's message spoke to you, I would love to stay connected. So please, again, like I've mentioned, follow me on my social medias at Wendy Gladney. Go over to my website at wendygladney.com. Subscribe. You'll get some free downloads. And go over to my YouTube page and subscribe there as well. I would really, really appreciate it. And if you know someone who would love this, please share it with them, because I would like them to be part of our tribe together as well. I really would appreciate that kindness from you. So, until next time, I am your host, Wendy Gladney. And remember, we're going from crossroads to confidence, from shaken to unshakable, and from purpose to power. Let's do it together.